The Imo State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal has affirmed the election of Hope Uzodinma as governor of the state. The tribunal gave its ruling in Abuja on Friday as it dismissed the petition of the Labour Party and its governorship candidate, Ethan Ashtonu. In a unanimous judgment delivered by Justice Oluyemi Akinton-Sadebe, the three-man panel of the tribunal held that Uzodinma's election as Imo State governor complied substantially with the provisions of the Electoral Act. The tribunal further held that the Labour Party, in its petition, failed to prove the allegation of overvoting and non-compliance to the Electoral Act.
In fact, the tribunal was of the opinion that the petition was grossly meritorious, grossly incompetent, and they did not establish any iota of the grounds upon which they came to the tribunal. So it is clear from what the tribunal has done this morning that you don't just go to the tribunal to make allegations that you cannot come to the tribunal to prove. These issues of going to tribunal to file election petitions are not mere frivolous issues. You must have substantial issues that you can prove.
There was a particular pronouncement which had always wanted on the issue of the qualification of His Excellency, which has become a recurring decimal on every election year on the issue of his qualification. The tribunal today put an end to that speculation.
Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, has dedicated his victory at the Imo State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal, sitting in Abuja, to God. Reacting after the tribunal judgment, Governor Uzodinma said the victory is an affirmation of the mandate Imo people freely gave him on the 11th November governorship election. He noted that the God who saw him through the tribunal will also see him through other stages if his opponents decide to appeal the case.
Imo State is gradually changing, and Imo people got into it, and demonstrated that by the way they voted during the election. There is no such a victory that is not from God, and as long as the victory is from God, the same God will sustain it. So I owe the victory to Almighty.
Now, for more updates, a lawyer and legal advisor of Labour Party in Imo State, Hejirika Emeka, joins me on the news. Good to have you join us. So let me start by getting your reaction to this particular judgment. I was listening to one of the lawyers there who said, according to the judgment, you were unable to prove All right, I just want to be sure that you can hear me before I go on, Mr. Hejirika Emeka.
I can.
All right. So I just want to get your reaction to that judgment. One of the lawyers there was saying that you were unable to prove any of the grounds for which you were in the tribunal in the first place.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And let me say that lawyer's position, that is his view. We are still studying the judgment. And he cannot come out to say that we didn't prove any grounds. As far as we are concerned, our petition, we prosecuted our petition diligently, called hundreds of witnesses, tendered incontrovertible evidence to support our petition. And then somebody is coming to tell me that we didn't prove what we were there for. I have to say this. It is tragic in Nigeria. It is extremely tragic in Nigeria that before even the tribunal delivered their verdicts, even the market women are already telling you what the outcome is going to be. No matter how hard you try, it is tragic. This same scenario occurred in Kano, Plateau, and Nasarawa. And the higher courts reversed those tribunal judgments. In fact, there is a high rate of reversal of tribunal judgments because in the electoral matters, the tribunal is the lower court, then the Court of Appeal, and then the Supreme Court in this case. So we are studying it. But we reject it totally. We reject that judgment. We reject it as erroneous, that it is replete with errors. And we feel that the tribunal erred in that they did not, the evaluation of our evidence standard, the weight they attach to it, both oral and material. So we reject it. And after studying the judgment, then we definitely will take a stand and make it known and move forward.
All right. You seem to think that you still have a case to prove. We are monitoring what your next move will be. Thank you so much for talking to us. Lawyer and legal advisor of Labour Party in Imo State, Jerika Emeka.
Thank you very much.